The UNLV Running Rebels are on a roll. They're ranked number 7 in the country. They've won 6 games in a row. But tonight, it's not going to be easy. They have to come down to the land of enchantment, it says here, to play the New Mexico State Aggies. And this tonight for the Vegas team is hostile waters. Let's take a look at the standings in the Big West Conference. Just underway in the Big West. But look at this. Only 2 undefeated teams. The 2 teams we're going to be watching tonight, Las Vegas and New Mexico State. And look at the overall record. Yes, Vegas is ranked number 7. They are 9 up and 2 down. Look at New Mexico State. 11-1 so far on the season. Hello, everybody. I'm Barry Tompkins, and it's a pleasure to share these microphones this Big West season on ESPN with Quinn Buckner. And Quinn, I guess everybody knows about Las Vegas. They're on national television just about every week. But I think New Mexico State may be the least known 11-1 team in college basketball.
Well, Barry, you're right, but this is the best start that the Aggies have had since forming NBA great Sam Lacey and Jimmy Collins have played here. They have a 9-game winning streak. They are playing with great confidence. They're going to need it tonight.
We talked to Neil McCarthy, the coach of the Aggies, a little bit earlier, and he said, the guy I'm most worried about is Anderson Hunt.
Well, he's worried about Anderson Hunt, and rightfully so. Anderson Hunt shoots jump shots, and he shoots them with the best from three-point range. McCarthy intends to play some zone defense. Anderson Hunt can bring him out of that.
Las Vegas has been a better team over the last 4 games. The reason, they're rebounding better, and the reason for that, David Butler.
David Butler has come since he came back. Prior to that, all of a sudden, Vegas was only getting 3 rebounds more than their opponents. Now they're getting 14 more. And the reason they're doing that is David Butler has been all over the boards. He's averaging 7. He's capable of getting anywhere to 15 to 20 rebounds a game.
Both of these teams very balanced. But yeah, if you have to point to one guy for New Mexico State who really gets it done, it might be Randy Brown.
Randy Brown is a great player. What he really does is he gets the ball out in transition, but he initiates it by getting steals. And once you get steals, you get opportunities, push it up, get your teammates in position to score. They'll need that tonight.
5 players averaging in double figures. Actually, 5 players in double figures for both teams. But James Anderson is a guy who's going to be very much a key offensively.
Well, he will be a key. The 6'8" senior from East Chicago, Indiana, is averaging just under 14 points a game. The real importance for him tonight is the rebounding. He's averaging around 7. He'll have to get 10 to 12 in order for him to be successful tonight.
When we talked to both coaches, they felt that was going to be the difference in the game. Who rebounded better was going to win it. And who takes care of the ball. John, I got to tell you, this place is nuts.
Absolutely, Barry.
Barry Tompkins with Quinn Buckner back at the Pan Am Center here in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and we are just about set to go. Let's meet the starting lineups now with Chris Putman.
Now here are the starting lineups for tonight's game. For UNLV, the forward, a 6'7" junior from Dallas, Texas, number 4, Larry Johnson. For the Aggies, at a forward, a 6'4" junior from Maywood, Illinois, number 32, Reggie Jordan. For the Rebels at the other forward, a 6'8" junior from Pasadena, California, number 32, Stacy Augman. At the other forward for New Mexico State, a 6'8" junior from Chicago, Illinois, number 42, Michael New. At center for the Rebels, a 6'10" senior from Washington, D.C., 00, David Butler. At center for the Aggies, a 6'8" senior from East Chicago, Indiana, number 30, James Anderson. At a guard for the Rebels, a 6'1" sophomore from Detroit, Michigan, number 12, Anderson Hunt. At a guard for the Aggies, a 6'3" junior from Chicago, Illinois, number 3, Randy Brown. And at the other guard for the Rebels, a 6'2" junior from Las Vegas, number 50, Greg Anthony. And at the other guard for the Aggies, a 6'4" senior from Houston, Texas, number 44, Keith Hill. Coach of the Rebels, Mr. Jerry Tarkanian, and the head coach of your Aggies, Big West Coach of the Year, Neil McCarthy.
Those are the participants, and we are just about set to get underway. The UNLV Running Rebels and the New Mexico State Aggies will get started when we come back right after this. I talked to him just a couple of minutes ago. He told me he did the Michigan-Illinois game last year. He said it's not like this. Bobby Sidoff and Bill Kennedy. Here are the game notes on this one. Las Vegas, as you can see, leads the series 14-0. New Mexico State has not beaten Las Vegas since they have been in the Big West Conference. And Vegas wins on the road, but the other side of that coin is New Mexico State doesn't lose very much here. They're off to their best start since the year they went to the Final Four. And maybe that bottom thing is the most significant of all. They force turnovers, Quinn.
Well, I agree with you, Barry. I think it's important. What we'll probably see tonight is the game will go up and down, so you got to see transition defense, no turnovers, and rebounding will just be critical, along with defensive intensity.
You're going to see a very interesting defense played by New Mexico State. Vegas controls the opening tip-off.
Well, the defense you're talking about is a 1-1-3. Vegas plays it, but they don't play it as aggressively as does New Mexico State.
Hunt short with the first shot, Brown on the rebound. Both teams want to keep it up-tempo. Hill underneath. Brown couldn't get it to go. Follows up and good.
A good second effort there. That's what they got to get. Easy baskets.
All the way to the other end, Anderson Hunt. And Vegas beat him back in transition.
That's it. The defensive transition is what's going to really be a big part of this game tonight.
And I'm sure what Vegas would dearly love to do is take this crowd out of the game early, because they really are a factor here.
And for that same reason, New Mexico State needs to get off to a good start.
On the baseline, this time into the basket for the jam, Keith Hill. Here comes Vegas the other way. Hunt leaves it in the lane for Butler. He can't get it. Rebound still alive, down to Anderson. Jordan to the cutter. Brown to the basket. Count it. He'll go to the line.
That was a great backdoor play. It was straight through one of the Vegas players. The angle is tough from here, but all it was a backdoor play, and you see great hands there. Go to the basket and the foul on Larry Johnson.
So the Aggies have done exactly as you indicated. They have gotten out of the blocks very quickly.
Well, they really need to get out of the blocks, and Randy Brown is going to be an integral part of that because he handles the ball a great deal. If they get scoring for him, that's just an added plus for him. But as we saw a moment ago, Clark is worried about this start that he sees the Aggies getting.
Beautiful pass from Anthony down the lane. It's Johnson to the basket. Credit Greg Anthony. All the way to the basket, Jordan. Stacey Ogman won't go.
Now, the Aggies have to be careful. They want to run, but you play against Nevada, Las Vegas. They're a very deep team, so if the Aggies get out there running too much, they're tiring themselves out, where Las Vegas can bring in some very good people off the bench.
Brown working on Anderson Hunt. Turnaround jumper, tough shot, but he drew the foul. I suppose there are some coaches who would say bad shot, but when it gets into the free throw line, not so bad.
Barry, it's one of those things Coach said, no, great shot.
Way to go.
Way to go. That's exactly what that was that time. But Randy Brown can't afford to get into that kind of game. The problem with it, if your point guards start taking people one-on-one, it encourages everybody else to do it. You don't have offensive patience, and that's where Las Vegas can get you, because all of a sudden you miss a shot, they go for like 3 or 4 fast breaks in a row.
Randy Brown and Michael New, two of the players on the floor for the Aggies, were high school teammates in Chicago at Collins High School. Then went on to the University of Houston together before coming to New Mexico State.
Well, they played for Don Russell, the brother of Cassie Russell at Collins.
Butler can't get it, but they'll get a second try from Augman.
That's a name we'll be saying quite a bit tonight. Stacey Augman is really a great defensive player. That time you saw him come up with a good offensive rebound basket.
Preseason All-American pick. I'll tell you one thing you're seeing tonight is a whole lot of #1 draft choices eventually.
Without a doubt.
Brown stutter step, pump fake, and got it. Eight for Randy Brown.
As much as anything, the purpose of this defense is to try to keep the ball out of Butler's hands. Butler had a great game against San Jose State. This defense should help keep the ball out of his hands from New Mexico State.
Anthony for three, short. Johnson fights for the rebound, keeps it alive, but Jordan comes away with it. Brown leans in for another one, forced that shot too, and that time is called for the offensive foul. Brown actually has taken 3 bad shots. He got away with 2 of them.
Yeah, he really did. The adrenaline is flowing. I mean, there's a lot of emotion involved in the game. Randy Brown thought he felt it, but that time he got carried away. Officially made the appropriate call. But it's hard to argue when you see a guy who really wants to take the game into his hands. So I'm sure Neil McCarthy will just try to settle Randy down a bit.
Johnson on the low post. Nice pass for Hunt. Won't go, though. Johnson with good position underneath. Just can't control it.
Yeah, but I'll suggest to you, if Johnson continues to get that kind of position, he'll not only get the rebound, but he'll dunk that. He's so strong that a little bit of Vegas' thinking is just to wear you down. So in the last 10 minutes of the game, you just can't go up and get those rebounds.
And Las Vegas will go 10 deep on you. The Aggies about 8 deep. Underneath, Hill can't get the reverse layup. Anthony comes away with it. 2-on-1. Anthony to the basket. Not bad.
That's pretty good when you get the guard to dunk it. I happened to be watching Anthony. He had Stacey Augman in front of him and didn't have a position to throw the lob. So the best thing to do is the high percentage shot, the dunk.
And that will quiet the crowd right now. Although it only is partially quieted this crowd.
You know, one of the things I have noticed a great deal about Las Vegas teams, they don't get a lot of credit for their defense. They're a very good defensive team.
They really are. A well-coached team. You can't take anything away from Jerry Tarkanian and the job he's done with this team. New Mexico State by 4.
There's only 6-1.
15:35 remaining in a half. Game has been exactly as advertised so far. Trask has come on the low post for the Aggies. Very physical player. Neil McCarthy might want him just to lean on some of the Vegas bodies.
Well, I'm sure he does. He just wants Trask in there to try to help out on the rebound.
2 tries that time for the Aggies. Couldn't get either to fall, and Vegas will have it.
Benjamin is also into the game, and he's a great defensive player. One of the reasons he's in is for his defense. The other is because he'll be more conscious of getting back defensively.
Vegas with very good ball movement so far, and it really has prevented anything that even resembles a turnover. Butler in the lane. Jordan is open.
That was a good play right there, because what happened is Brown pushed the ball up before Vegas could get back and get set in their defense. The shot was taken by Jordan, knocked it down.
And again, look at the ball movement by Las Vegas. Johnson has this one.
Vegas does a good job. They move the ball not only outside, but every now and then. What teams forget to do is throw the ball inside and let people kick it out. That time they kicked it in to Johnson, and he's just a horse in there, so it was an easy basket.
That's the first turnover of the ball game, which for a game that has been as physical and as up and down as this one, rather surprising. And here's the second turnover of the ball game. Jordan, 2-on-1, 4-on-1, Benjamin to the basket.